So in all the change that we're experiencing, or that we anticipate, you know, this change in what you were speaking about, the government becoming more for the people. What is important to you to have remained constant or the same? Is there anything that you would identify that way?
I didn't quite understand your question. That to us personally?
And I would say personally, or from a policy or a political standpoint, it's just I'm interested in looking at the other side of it too. We talk about change. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you would identify from your vantage point that would be important in this country, in your life, to have remained the same?
The checks and balances, I think, of the government are very important. And I happen to think in the last 8 years, there has not been as much constitutional balance as was directed and created by the founding fathers. I think some, i.e. the executive branch, got a little out of shape with too much power, and there were not enough checks and balances from Congress or the Supreme Court. I want those balances and checks clear, demarked, and followed, because that protects me, I think. That's the only thing I can think of at the moment.
Okay.
Well, when you think of changes in government in other parts of the world, we have so far been able to change governments without warfare. I mean, with our votes, sometimes they're not counting quite right, but that is something not to be changed and to be treasured.
The vote.
Yeah.
The transfer of power.
The transfer of power.
We don't have revolutions like most
That's
countries.
right.
We just don't.
Well, I just think the emphasis, I would love to see the focus and the emphasis be on the good of the country instead of the partisanship. And I'm old enough to remember when there was a day when there were lots and lots of crossover votes. And you don't have to be too old to remember that. It was not that long ago in our history. And that seems to have disappeared recently in the last vote, and that's a sad day. That's a very sad day for me, because that means that the good of the country is taking back seat to something else, which is usually self-promotion on the part of the lawmakers.
Party loyalty.
Mm-hmm. And that's very, very sad, and I hope that will change. Everybody wants it, but somehow it's not being allowed at this moment, and I hope soon it will be allowed, because I know there are people, I know there are congressmen who want to vote one way and are not allowed to by their party whips or whatever. So that's one huge change. I would hope, but that would have to be self-employed, so to speak. That will have to come from within them, I would think. It can't be unless it comes from us, the people. So maybe it will come there, but who knows? Anyway, that will be interesting to see in the next year.